What's going on, everyone? It is the Mac and Murray College Football Show, and we're going to the guest lines to bring in one of the best to cover college football right now. One of the young stars in the game, Brooks Hobson. You can find him at the Film Guy Network. Does a great job breaking down the games, not just Georgia, as he always likes to let me know, all the games across the country. He knows his stuff. He breaks down the tape at a very, very high level. I watch a lot of it. It's just very it's good to see, man. You do a hell of a job, so I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join us right now. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the games, we got a lot of games I want to kind of get your opinions on. Your overall thoughts of college football, like this season,
Mm.
like how entertained are you from what you do professionally to being a fan, and are we in a good spot right now?
Yeah, I mean, extremely entertained. I'm glad that, I mean, all of us that do this job, all of us that give these opinions, we all, I think, felt like going into the season, this was going to be the most chaotic filled, most parody filled year of college football that we could ever have. I think going into the season, we all looked at like 9 or 10 programs and thought they might have a chance to win a national title, all of which felt like they were relatively having to go answer a bunch of questions, right? We had a lot of new quarterbacks, a lot of new faces, a lot of returning quarterbacks that turned out to actually not be any good this year or be in situations that are really, really bad. Like that type of unpredictability, I think we all knew it was going to come. We all talked about it. And here it is. And it's obvious why, right? Talent dispersion, portal, whatever you want to say. More teams feel like they have a budget to go compete. More teams feel like they can go compete. Schedules are all out of whack. There's no real competitive balance. It's nuts. The sport we cover is absolutely nuts in structure and in outcome. So yeah, the parody was only bound to happen. And I'm kind of glad to see that it's not chalk. I don't think anything's going chalk right now. I don't even think anybody thought Ohio State was going to be this dominant. I think that is a little bit of a surprise to everybody as well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I think a big reason, I mean, as we talk to coaches and the things that we do and other, people that cover this sport, is that talent, disparity there, the talent that you cannot stockpile, like Georgia, Clemson, Bama, Ohio State. They can't just hold on to these guys and then, they wait your turn and then you can come in and play. And so you have to adapt quickly. And, Lane Kiffin the other day talking about that the CFP dynasties are done, and all these different things. I think there's a variety, of reasons for that. How about before we jump into these, because I'm very interested in your opinion on this as well. How about these coaching turnovers? Like, is it only going to get worse? Are you annoyed by it? Is it weird? And all the shit LSU's dealing with is bonkers right now.
Yeah.
But where are you on firing coaches early and the magnitude of which that it has happened?
Yeah. So for me, you have to fire the spiralers. Like if you're losing the program within a month, if we go from being in a fourth quarter fist fight against Oregon at home in a top 5 matchup to 2 or 3 weeks later, not only getting our doors blown off by UCLA and giving up 45 points to an offense that felt lifeless, to then losing again at home to Northwestern, like those types of things, when we spiral as a football program, we have to really, really pay attention. Like we have to like make sure that this is indeed our guy or figure out why he is spiraling, right? So I think that was the case at LSU to an extent too. When you start to see football teams lay down, that's a big, big problem because we live in a sporting world now where these rosters are turning over at north of 50% rate at everywhere. So you've got mercenaries in your department every single year. If you've got mercenaries laying down and quitting on the fight in the middle of the war, you are not the general. We can't have you be the guy. No matter what it costs, if it costs us $57 million, we might have to eat it. Because here's the problem. Florida State had a spiraling moment, thought they could go out and buy new groceries, and guess what? They're spiraling again. Like, we can't do this multiple times over. So that would be the thing I'm paying attention to. Not these guys that are losing tight football games like Matt Rule, or guys that are losing games that they should and winning games that they should. It's the guys that are spiraling quickly. Those are the ones we got to pay attention to.
But Brooks, do we have enough? Because everyone's chasing the national championship coaches, and correct me if I'm wrong here. There's only 3 of them currently out there right now that have won a national championship. So everyone's chasing Kirby or Dabo, and obviously they're having their own set of problems there at Clemson, or Ryan Day at Ohio State. where I'm Penn State and I just fired James Franklin, who was a handful of plays away from a national championship. I fire, yes, Brian Kelly, and I agree. Like that felt like it was time to move on from Brian Kelly. But just in general, are there enough top tier coaches where these programs we're going to be saying heading into 2026, we feel better about the coaching situation right now compared to what we did heading into 2025? I don't see enough good coaches out there that these
Yeah.
programs are going to get what they hope they're going to get.
So when things run their course, like specifically at LSU and Penn State, I feel as if those things had ran their course. I feel like it is really, really easy to sit here and go, oh, well, there's no good candidates. I don't think anyone thought Mike Elko was a blue chip status hire at Texas A&M, and he turned out to be a damn good one. Murray, you're me. He was an 8-4 Duke football coach.
Yeah, but that was not. I mean, you
I know, but
that's
that was
pretty
not
good.
Murray. That was not a 5-star hire that everybody loved. I don't think. I think a lot of people looked at that and went, you know. So I think a lot in this cycle, you might have a couple of these.
No, like that was a good cultural fit.
The only thing I'm saying is that from an outside perspective, you might have a couple of hires this year where you look at it and you go, I don't know. And he might be the right guy. And we know for a fact, at least for LSU's purposes, for me, I know that Brian Kelly was not the guy. So we have to get rid of him. We have to. If we know for a fact he's not the guy, he's got to go. Now, I understand the hesitancy up there at Penn State.
I get LSU. I get Florida. I'm still
the Penn State thing. I'm with you.
The Penn State one, I don't get. Like, I get that the season's going bad, but do you think you're going to get someone better than what Franklin has done for the past 3 or 4 years, getting to the playoff, getting to a Big Ten championship game, being a player or two away from going to the national championship? Like, to take a 5-game sample size out of everything that he's built and to say we're going to get someone better than that. So just focusing on the Penn State question, because once again, like I get LSU, I get Florida. Those all seem to be heading in that direction. This one just seemed a little bit reaction to me getting rid of Franklin.
Tinfoil hat theory. I think they thought they had Matt Rule wrapped up, and they thought Matt Rule was going to wrap up a 9-3 Nebraska year and then take that alma mater job, and that went to shit the moment he loses to Minnesota. So I think, you know, and you could sit there and say, well, that's why you don't fire your football coach in October. Correct. I'm with you. I am with you right there 100%. I also think is there a chance that we have the inverse of what happened with Matt Rule, where Matt Rule turns down his alma mater to stay at Nebraska? Is there an opportunity where Jeff Brom turns down his alma mater at Louisville to take that job at Penn State? Because if so, that's an upgrade to me. Now, that's a crackpot dream. I'm not here for the let's hire Brian Hartline bandwagon that suddenly happened. I don't know what that is, but like, I'm with you. I think the decision to fire him in October was the problem. And I think Florida State's doing a good job right now of, if we are going to fire Norvell, let's do this in January. Let's wait this thing out. Even if I think people are rushing to, well, we got to have our coach before the portal opens. You're trying to make sure you hire the right guy for the next 10 years, not hire the right guy that makes us competent in January. That's goofy.
Right. No, I agree with you. And I think having the patience for a couple of reasons, not only the right guy, but making sure you can get that guy and knowing and having, and as bad as that seems, and as backwards and behind and snaky, whatever you want to say, I think that's what Penn State's dealing right now. I think they're looking around, and I think a whole bunch of people are like, I'm good. I don't know if I necessarily want that in regards to the elite, top of the line, big head coaches that we think will make this splashy hire. So I am fascinated just to see what kind of shockwaves are sent, who takes the job, who inevitably gets the jobs. And another kind of interesting thing, you mentioned, kind of the Elko and the man, whatever decision there. Look at all the head coaches that are having unbelievable success right now. They are coordinators. They are former coordinators to head coach. It's to me, I don't know if necessarily the CEO Dabo Sweeney type approach works for other places anymore. I don't know if that can still exist. I think you need these XO guys that, know what they're doing, can grind it out, and can be the play caller for one side of the ball, essentially.
I think you're getting to a point now in college football where these staffs are cycling so fast that even if you have success, you're immediately going to have a coordinator rip. Like Colin Klein's going to leave A&M eventually, right? Like the defensive coordinators, the defensive staff is going to leave there eventually. If your head football coach can't, in the midst of that, go grab one half of the football team and make it whole as a play caller, as a coordinator, you're in deep doo-doo. I feel this way about South Carolina. South Carolina has cycled through offensive coordinators because Shane Beamer, he might have great special teams, but guys, they play 25% of the snaps. They don't play 75% of the snaps like one of the primary units does. So I'm with you. I felt this way about Sam Pittman at Arkansas. When we can't go grab one of the units and make it whole, we're in trouble. We're going to be in trouble at one point. We're one hire away, one hire out, and one bad replacement hire from being in a turnstile. You're right.
You think South Carolina comes open? Sorry, real quick. Do you think
Okay.
that happens?
I don't think you can fire the football coach that got the 35 wins faster than Steve Spurrier. No, you cannot do that.
I agree.
You can't
I
do
agree.
that.
It's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be a wild
Now-
coaching
Now, do both
carousel,
of them?
'cause
Do both
I'm-
of them say, "Hey, Shane"? Shane says, "Hey, give me whatever the buyout is. Give me half of it. I want to go to Virginia Tech." I don't know. That
I
might
think
be a
Virginia
mutual
Tech's
parting of
fascinating
ways.
too. I think they should have got the Franklin thing done. And now I think there's a little turmoil there. I think there's a little smoke because I thought it was done
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
I thought
And
that
now
was a.
it ain't done.
I thought that was a. My agent's going to put me up for this Vodtech job to make sure Auburn fires Hugh Freeze. You know, like or not exactly Auburn, but anybody that's on the verge of, am I going to fire my guy? We're about to lose Franklin to Virginia Tech. He's not in the bag. You know what I mean? I thought that was more of a leverage play in Blacksburg. That guy's not. I don't think he should take that job. He's too good for that one, in my opinion.
Really?
I think he's better than that. I think he should get one of these, fringe top 16 to 18 programs that's about to come available. In my opinion, that's the way I feel about Franklin. Because like he didn't beat top 25 teams or top 10 teams, but when did he ever go into a top 10 matchup when it was 2 versus 9 and have number 2? He was always number 9. That's the way I always felt about his career at Penn State.
Interesting.
All right, let's get into these games though. Texas, Georgia. First question.
Yeah.
Who is the better quarterback right now in this game? And who is the better quarterback not only this year, but projecting forward as well? As you study the tape on both these quarterbacks, who's playing better right now? Because both quarterbacks are playing a lot better than they did at the beginning of the season. Both offenses are playing better. But better quarterback now, better quarterback projecting to the 2027 NFL draft.
The better quarterback now is Gunnar Stockton because of the things that are around him. Arch is playing tremendous football amidst chaos and a bunch of poop, to be honest with you. Like,
I agree.
I have consistently used this analogy, and you guys are closer to my age range, so you might actually know this one. Do y'all remember that Derrick Rose commercial where that rose pops up out of the concrete and it's like, this isn't supposed to happen right here?
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now out there at Texas. Like, they're not protecting him better. They haven't shortened the average depth of concept and depth of route and to help him with regards to the lack of protection. No, he's just standing in the dirtiest of dirty pockets and delivering strike after strike after strike. It's insane. It's really insane to watch. I mean, because nothing got better. Nothing got better. He did. The results have gotten better, and everybody's looked at it and go, oh, Texas is fixed. No, Arch Manning's playing insane football right now from the pocket.
Yeah, and I think that's something people hardly remember or think about. Like, you can get better as the season goes on. You can figure out, you can learn, and especially a guy that's a first-year starter, things like that are going to happen to him. Looking at Georgia as a whole, because I always am wanting more, and I got that this past weekend, obviously against one of the worst teams in the SEC, but I did get it. I still think there's a level Georgia can get to. Now, it's week 11, and maybe they can't. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think Kirby Smart's that good. What would you want to see or need to see from the Dogs in this game to maybe think, okay, they can win a national championship this year?
If they go run the football at will against that Texas unit, they're going to do it against just about anybody. I mean, that Texas defensive front, that front six, now they're really young in the back end. They bust coverages. They have a problem in their corners and safeties rooms, in my opinion, especially if Taft's not going to be available. I don't know his availability right about now here on a Tuesday. But they're really, really sound in the run defense department. They didn't play all that great against Mississippi State, but every other game this year, they've been stout. So if they can do that, that would be the thing for me. I felt this way about that matchup against Auburn. They didn't run the football at will against Auburn because Auburn's defensive front is elite. They're a top 10 run defense in the sport for my money. So that would be the thing I'm looking at. A continued explosive growth in the passing department. Everybody can wish and hope for that. Everybody's wanting that more and more. I'm with them on that. Like, yeah, you got to be able to throw the ball down the field after we make teams be committed to stopping the run. They've got to continue to grow there. But there's not much left other than immediate pass rush success, but they're not finding that in the middle of the year. That left in the portal with Damon Wilson going to Missouri.
Right.
Obviously, we know this is an important game for Texas for the fact of, like, you got to win this to keep your playoff hopes alive. I think of it for that obviously reason, but I also think of it as a sense of Texas rolled into the SEC. They kind of felt like we're the best team in the SEC immediately until they faced Georgia, who beat their butt 2 games last season, one in Austin, and obviously in the SEC championship game. We talk about all the time, like, Georgia has an Alabama problem. If Texas loses this game, is that going to continue to be the narrative? Like, does Texas have a problem of, we think we're Texas, we're better than everyone else, we recruit at a high level, we got C. Sarkisian, but we got a Georgia problem, and this is going to be an issue talked about until they can beat or Georgia or Alabama going forward?
So 2 things, in my opinion, are required to consistently stop Texas's offense. You have to be able to stop wide zone and control their running game. Georgia hops into a 50 down front, or at least did twice last year. Big wide nines. One of them Jalen Walker. One of them Michael Williams is just like, you're not running outside the tackles today. So good luck. And then you have to be able to tackle the screen game, right? His extension of the run game at Texas is really, really good. They've opened the last 2 football games with 60-plus yard explosives with Ryan Wingo catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage. I've watched Georgia for a long time. Murray, you have as well. They don't get beat in the extension of run game. They don't give up explosives in the flats. They normally do not. They're such a good tackling team. They're such a good block disruption football team that they just don't. They also do a really, really good job of mixing the looks in the middle of the field. Texas's deep passing game is predicated off of post and deep overs off of play action. And that gets discombobulated when I'm changing the pictures on you with regards to, is the middle of the field open or is the middle of the field closed? Georgia does a great job of that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fascinating game. Are we doing picks, Aaron? What's your thought? Are you making them pick here, or are we just rolling through these games?
Let's make a pick here. Who you got? This doesn't come out till like Wednesday, Thursday. I know when you do your picks on your show, so this should be after when you do yours.
I'm not one of these guys that like stows the pick. I'm not like, it is what it is. I'm probably going to pick Georgia in this football game. I don't like the idea of being a one-dimensional football team. I think Texas is a one-dimensional football team. And until they find a way to consistently run the football, which it won't be this week against this run defense from Georgia, I'll probably pick Georgia to win it.
It's going to be interesting. I think I'm right there with you. Let's go to Alabama, Oklahoma. Speaking of being able to run the ball or maybe not be able to run the ball, I've been really disappointed with Alabama. And it's kind of interesting. I know you just did a big tape on this, so I'm interested for you to kind of share that here.
Yeah.
Is this an O-line problem? Is it a scheme problem? Is it a running back problem? Why, in your opinion, is Bama not effective and successful running the football this year?
So let's tackle the scheme. I think the scheme's tight, Mac. When I do run game evaluations, all I look for is hat for hats. Like, if there's 7 threats in the box, did we block the 6 most dangerous and then leave the 7th for the back? Like, they're tight in their scheme. We're good there. I just don't think they execute all that well. And the reason being is because I think they're a good year or so away from having the body types that they prefer. Like, if you go back and look at their Washington offensive line, Parker Brailsford's their center and their true freshman center, played at All-American rate as a true freshman at 280 pounds. He's undersized, he's athletic, he moves, he plays a lot like Jason Kelsey, to be honest with you. Their left tackle was Troy Fontenot, who's starting right now for Pittsburgh and is labeled one of these quote-unquote undersized tackles at 6'4", 315 pounds, an elite athlete. You look at what they got right now, apart from Parker Brailsford, they're big SEC body, Saban body types. The left guard is Dewberry, Cam Dewberry from A&M. He's 6'6", 330. He's a North and South guy. Caden Proctor is 6'6", 360. He's a North and South guy. The right guard is 77. The Roberts kid is massive. He's a North and South guy. They have not matched the body types with the style of offense and run scheme, in my opinion, that they prefer. They're a wide zone out of pistol stretch, like pin and pull football team. That's what he wants to be. He doesn't have those body types. He's getting them, though, Mac. Look at his 2026 class. 6'5 and a half, 300 pounds. 6'7", 290. 6'4", 285. 6'4", 320 pounds. The heaviest guy he's got is 320 in high school right now. He's going to get what he wants eventually in body style and body type. It will eventually match with the results in the running game, in my opinion. I felt this way about their passing attack last year. They had Jalen Milroe, a quarterback that he is completely foreign to. He's never had an athlete. He's never had a mobile quarterback. Go all the way back to his Fresno days. Like, this is not what he does. He has quarterbacks that throw for 4,000 yards. He's got that now. He'll have a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards this year. He'll eventually find balance with his personnel.
So do you think that's sustainable, though? I mean, those smaller athletic guys for an SEC schedule where you have these literal monsters across from, like, pin and pull is great until your guard's sitting in the back of your quarterback's lap, when he can't isolate that guy.
I would argue Missouri runs the football pretty damn well in this conference.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way that they do. Now, they do it strictly through wide zone, and they've become a little bit more duo heavy now that Ahmad Hardy is more of a physical downhill back for those guys. But there are teams that do it. There are teams that are really, really athletic. I feel like Arkansas runs the football really well right now, being athletic up front.
Yeah. All right, let's flip it to the other side. Oklahoma. I have no faith in this offense. I think this offense is horrendous. I think the offensive line's bad, the running backs are bad, the receivers are bad, and Mateer footwork is just sloppy as sloppy can be. I don't know how they score points at all. I really don't.
Yeah.
For everyone who wants to talk about Alabama's offense and going against Oklahoma's defense, I'm just like, all they have to do is score 10 points and they can win this football game. I struggle once again to find ways the Sooners move the ball consistently in this matchup. What do they need to do if they're going to score points?
Realize their roster inefficiencies in the offseason? Why did we not go take stabs at offensive linemen? Why did we not go take stabs at wide receivers? And I'm not talking about Arkansas Pine Bluff wide receivers. Samaj's been really, really good, but I'm talking about a dude. Like, when we look at Oklahoma offense right now, it's, can Deion Burks do something after the catch? Can number 5, the Samaja kid, do something after the catch? And can Mateer balance our run counts enough to where we can actually be efficient in the run game? And they're going to eventually be okay, I think, offensive line-wise, because I do like Eddie Pierre-Louis, the young offensive guard. I do like Fasusi, the left tackle, who's a blue-chip prospect for them. They're eventually going to be okay. And I do think it is a next-year window, right? With their roster, the way that it was comprised, with Mateer having 2 years of eligibility, with Arbuckle being his first year in the system, like, they were a playoff competitor next year that got changed with expectations early in the year because Mateer looked great and the schedule was poop. I still think they're a 9-3 football team, and that's okay because next year the goal is to be 10-2. But I'm with you. There is a lot of problems on the roster offensively. Like, losing Nick Anderson was a no-no this offseason for them, and they let it happen. Now, they've got a guy there in Jim Nagy that is supposed to identify all of these things. And again, that was a guy that didn't get there until midway through the offseason last year. So these things are next year window problems that they should address.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's a fair way to kind of look at it. What's your pick in this one? You lean in Alabama, kind of like we are?
Yeah, I am. But guys, a couple of explosives could totally alter this football game.
Sure.
And Oklahoma does have the ability to do that. I feel like they've won their last two or three football games doing that, right? They were competitive against Ole Miss because the run game spit an explosive late. They were winning that game against Tennessee because the wide receivers spit explosives late. Mateer spit explosive runs late. Like, they can do this still.
I'm with you there. Let's look at a game I'll be heading up in Pittsburgh. The Panthers there welcoming Notre Dame, the Golden Domers, to town. Big number, 11.5, I think is the case there. ESPN matchup predictors like 75% with the Golden Domers. I don't know about that. Call me a homer, call me what you want. This Pitt defense is tenacious. They're getting everybody
ACC needs
back.
some luck this week, baby, to put last
Yeah,
week
we need
behind
some
them.
luck. If anything, it's
Guys-
going to happen. It's the number
guys,
one
it
rush
doesn't matter.
defense.
It doesn't matter.
100 points. Lose by 100.
Narduzzi
Yeah.
says they can lose by 100. It doesn't
It is
matter.
what it is. That's another discussion. What do you think of that Pitt defense? Their base is blitz, and going up against a Notre Dame offensive line that I think is playing better. Obviously, two of the best running backs in the country there, but they struggled against Boston College. Outside of that big chunky run, I mean, they couldn't get it really going. You've got a different animal that you're playing against in Acrisure Stadium there.
I hate to do this to you, Mac. You're my guy, man. I really like you, but I'm gonna do this to you. Pittsburgh is-
Let me hear it.
Pittsburgh is 7-2. They're ranked. Pittsburgh has played one Power 4 football team all year. It's middle of November. They've played one Power football team all year with a winning record. And they lost. It was Louisville. They lost at home by a score. And this isn't your problem. This is a problem in college football in the ACC. This is a problem in college football in the Big Ten. These conferences are so mega diluted. They are so watered down. And ACC only plays 8 conference games. So the odds of you having one of these schedules is actually more likely than you having a difficult schedule. And it's not Pittsburgh's problem. It wasn't Indiana's problem last year when they went and handled their schedule. I'm just saying there is an opportunity here where they look good on paper and they might have a top 10 scoring offense, but they've played absolutely nobody. And it's the middle of November. And
Flip it to Notre Dame
it's
real
just-
quick. Flip it to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Who have they
we
played?
I mean, who have they played? They've played A&M, and they've played Miami, and they've played nobody since. And the reason they've played nobody since is because they basically played an ACC schedule.
They played USC.
But so why?
They
But
played
my
USC.
thing is, why do you feel good about them, but you don't feel good about Pitt?
Well, because I love the quarterback, and I love the running back, and I love the offensive line, and I love the top 12 recruiting classes over the last 3 years. That's why.
I love the quarterback. I love
the quarterback. That
love
dude,
CJ
they're
Carr.
chunking stuff up, dude. Denbrock is doing such a great job of hunting explosives early in football games.
Could
getting that
Denbrock
kid-
be the next head coach at LSU, by the way?
I don't know enough about Denbrock from a face of a program standpoint. I know enough about him as a play caller. I think he's great. He's awesome. But I like that Mac was talking about you have to be a coordinator, but you still got to go schmooze boosters. You still got to go be a relationships guy.
I love Denbrock.
You still got to go stand in front of a media personality group.
Does he
You
not
gotta do
feel a
all that
little
stuff.
like Mike Elko? Like Mike Elko, obviously DC was at A&M,
Yeah.
went to Duke, obviously had the experience as a head coach, but then fit the culture and was able to go back and have the success. Like Denbrock, ton of success at LSU from a coordinator standpoint. Goes to Notre Dame, is taking Notre Dame into an explosive offense, not only running the football
Yeah.
but throwing the football. Like he's someone that I haven't thought about, but obviously has ties there. I think he's a really good human being. I had the opportunity to cover him a couple times there at LSU. Don't know about the whole face of the program necessarily, but like Elko is
Yeah.
not this.
No.
I wouldn't say like I don't know. Like, could he be an option at the end of the day if Notre Dame continues to be this good on offense?
And it's not just that Notre Dame has continued to be this good. Look at the fall off down there at LSU.
I know.
Like, obviously, this guy played a major role in the consistent success down there offensively for those guys. So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, at least if you hire that guy, you should be solid offensively for
That's
as
an
long as
interesting-
he's there.
I don't know why.
So,
I don't know
yeah,
why
that's a
no
good
one's really
shout.
talking about that one. I don't know if he would want it or not. I know he's like
What's his
kind of, that's
age,
his
Aaron?
part of the country he likes.
I don't know anything about the guy other than
Yeah.
watching his offenses. I don't know.
He is older. I mean, he's an older cat.
Yeah.
He's an older
Yeah,
cat.
it's true. We'll see.
That might be it.
Last one before we send you off. I'll give you the three top teams: Ohio State, A&M, Indiana. It seems like those three have kind of somewhat separated themselves, even though Indiana kind of a little bit iffy this past weekend. But it's kind of those three teams. Are you taking those three? Or are you taking the field to win a national championship if you had to pick today?
Better yet, I'll take Ohio State or the field right now.
Okay.
That's the way I
Wow.
feel about those guys.
You
And
feel like
look,
they're
you
that
can
much
say,
separated even than even A&M right now.
Aaron, they are so dominant on both sides
I
of the
know.
football.
I
They're
know.
so
But who have
dominant.
they played though too? Let's make that argument. Who have they played?
I
to know
don't really
truly.
I don't really care about that one with them because how many first rounders do they have? How many first round picks? How many number one
Probably
players at
5
their
to 10.
position do they have? They have the number one off ball linebacker. They have the number one safety. They have the number one wide receiver and number 2 wide receiver. Like, what do? Like, Brandon Ennis is their 3rd best wide receiver right now. He would be the best weapon at Missouri, a ranked SEC football team.
Fun
Okay.
times.
Okay.
Fun times.
I mean, I
And
agree.
look,
They're that good.
I'm here for the-
I would love to see.
I'm here
when they
for
get
the
punched in
Lane Kiffin
face,
take.
Do they have the
I-
personality, the guts to then kind of handle it? That's going to be the big thing when they actually have to play a 4-quarter game. Does their quarterback, who's pretty damn good, I mean, 80% completion, all that, but all of a sudden when it's nut crunch time in the 4th quarter, does he kind of go into a shell or not? Like, that is still a question. Maybe they don't have to go. Maybe they just beat everyone by 20 points, and you never have to worry about, does he got the balls to win a 4-quarter game?
I just need him to beat Michigan is all I need to do.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
I think that's all they need them to do as well. I think the whole thing has like focused on Michigan at this point.
Yes.
To the point where the next couple of weeks, I would imagine they're extremely vanilla offensively.
Wouldn't be surprised.
All right, Brooks. Well, we appreciate you joining us, man. Once again, love all the coverage. If you have not followed Brooks, go follow him on social media. On YouTube, does a great job with the film breakdowns and obviously giving his analysis each and every week about the games, previewing and looking back as well at the Film Guy Network. Brooks, man, appreciate you joining us.
No doubt, boys. Y'all be good.
Okay.